Should you get your driver license C? Should you get your truck license, or should you stick to the normal one, your B license? Well, I'm gonna share with you today my opinion. So I got my truck license pretty recently in July 2022. And it's been a long process in my mind. It's been a long process in my mind because I realized, okay, so if I have if I don't have my truck license, okay, so I stick with license B. You know how difficult it is with the weight for your van. You have to, if you have license B, at least in Belgium, and I know in most European countries, maybe everywhere, you can't exceed 3.5 tons. So that means that it's hard to puzzle everything, right? And you really have to consider your weight when you buy your vehicle, the materials you put in, and all of that. And so I already felt like, wow, that's like, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to be limited because of weight, because of my license. And so for every now and then, like, I was checking, license C. But in Belgium, information isn't that clear. At least that's what I found. I've been looking on several websites. I've been calling several companies. And basically the information was the same. Like, are you doing this because of your company? I'm like, no, like just on my own. And they were like, yeah, no, we don't do that. So there's quite a lot of companies. I feel like they only work like those driving agencies that mostly work with companies to actually get driver licenses C because they need it for the company. And also the websites I felt are pretty much focused on ask your company, ask your manager, whatever it is, like to get your driver license C in. And so I felt to give driver license C information wasn't that easy. And so every time that I bumped into like those limiting factors, like, shit, I don't know, I felt like my resistance to get my driver license C was like building up, like, see, like just stick with your license B. And I was like, no, I'm gonna call them. And they're like, no, we can't help you. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should stick to my driver license B. And then I went to an event in May. And so there I was gonna look whether I wanted to have a van or a box truck. And then I decided there and then, okay, it's gonna be a box truck. A van is gonna be too small. I don't like the outlook of a box truck. Like, I think a van looks super cozy. But I thought, okay, space is important. Let's go for a box truck. And then I thought, well, getting a box truck without a license C, it might be kind of stupid because then you have something bigger, which weighs more, but you can put less in because you're limited with your license B. And so I was thinking, and then in June I decided, you know what? I'm gonna get my license C. I do not know yet which van I'm gonna get, which box truck or which truck. I'm just gonna go for my license C. It's out of the way. I probably learned something because I think it's always good learning, improving. And so I decided, okay, let's do this. So in June, I made up my mind. I decided it is gonna be what it is. It is, how you say it? It is what it is. So what I did basically is that I searched online. I booked my exam, my theory exam. I called to book as well my practical exam, but you couldn't yet. Like, I couldn't book a slot as long as I didn't have my theory done. So I was in Barcelona at the time that I decided that. I was flying back to Belgium on June 23rd, 24th. And a few days later, I had my theory exam. The book was delivered as well at my parents' place because I searched, like, for license B, you have everything online. It's super easy. For license C, you have like a few where you can read something online, but it's not like as wide and huge as everywhere. So basically, there was something that you can practice online, but you only could get access with the book, because then you need like a specific code, and then with that code you can access the online website. And also, as soon as you access it, I think you had like 3 months to access it, and then your access would be blocked again. So I thought, okay, no, I'm just gonna wait till I'm home. So when I was home, I would consider to take more time than I did, but I studied 2 nights till the first one till 1:30 a.m. and the second one to 3 a.m. in the morning, 3:30. And in the morning I had to go do my my theory exam. So I was pretty stressed, and I was like, but I thought, okay, you know what? At least I'm doing this. At least I'm gonna go there, and even if I have to redo it, at least I'm on the roll. And I passed. I passed my theory. Super happy. Really nice. And I think that same day I called straight away the exam center. And I told them, yay, yo, I passed. I also did my medical test. So that's something I didn't tell you. So for your truck license C, driver license C, you do have to have a checkup of your eyes, and then you have to do a medical control. Then you have to do your theory, and then you can go do your classes, your driving classes, and then you do your exam. So it's basically 5 steps that you have to consider. Not necessarily all in that order. I think your eye test you have to do because it's connected to your medical. Like to your medical, you have to bring your eye test, your eyesight test. It's okay if you have glasses, you just have to bring your glasses. So that one, and then your theory, but you can do your theory as well before your medical elements. And then only once you have all those 3, that's where you're gonna do your classes, and that's where you then do your exam. Now the cool thing is, it went super quickly. Now, I do admit that I had to go do my exam 1 hour, 45 minutes driving from where I lived. Why? Because in Antwerp, Belgium, where I was living, I had to wait 3 to 4 months before I could start my classes. And I thought, no way. And also the people that were far away, they were super friendly on the phone. Though they were the ones that explained me everything. You have this book, you have this code, you have all of that. And I thought, wow. So I told them, at that moment on the phone, I said, okay, the day that I finish, I do my theory exam, I pass it, I come and do my classes at your place. And that is basically what I did. So I was driving all the way there for my classes. Now, the good thing is that with this agency, I don't know if it's the same for everyone, and I surely don't know how it is done in the rest of Europe, but basically in Belgium you need 2 times 4 hours. So in total you need 8 hours class. Probably there's agencies who split it in 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, whatever. But my agency, basically they split it in 2 times 4 hours. So that meant that I only had to go there 2 times 4 hours, had all my classes done. And on top, I could do my exam straight away in the afternoon after my second classes. Now that meant that I have been in a truck only 2 times when I was doing my exam. So you can imagine how stressed I was when I had to go and do my exam. Again, I was talking to myself, it's okay if I fail. It's okay because I'm already in this stage. I already passed my theory. I'm already happy. After my second class, actually went pretty okay. It is a big thing to drive, but in the end, okay, it is still driving. So it's once you already know how to drive, I think it's okay. And then there was the day of my exam. So after my 4 hours class, and basically you first have to do your maneuvers. Your maneuvers are done kind of like on a parking of the exam center. And once you pass that, you pass that. Like even if then you fail your road test, you still have your maneuvers that you already passed. So you never have to do it, never. I don't know if there's a limit of years that you have to do your exam after, but you don't have to do your maneuvers again, and you can do your exam on the road again. Now for the maneuvers, you have a few maneuvers that you have to do, but again, now I'm sidetracking. I was super stressed for the maneuvers. My leg was shaking out. My truck was going like this to actually go behind and park. But I passed, and then I did my exam on the road and I passed as well. So basically from the moment that I've decided I am gonna do my license, basically 7 weeks later, I think I got my license done. So I got my, end of June, I got my theory. So I had my eyesight test, my medical, and then my theory. The 1 week and a half later, I could do my first classes, and the week after my second class and my exam. So basically in 3 weeks, from the moment I really started doing my theory to the moment that I passed it, it was done. And I paid in total around 1,000 euros, which I thought was going to be way more expensive. But again, it depends on which agency you do it. The one in Antwerp was more expensive, was I think 1,300 euros. So I think it's definitely worth it because I really felt super relaxed, knowing that, okay, I have my license C, and now I can just basically decide any vehicle I want. So if you also have that feeling of, I'm not sure, maybe, then I would recommend to maybe buy the book of theory, see how you go, just do it. And then you can still decide for the practical elements, which is the most expensive. So I think you can still decide, okay, if you do the theory and then you decide, nah, I'm not gonna do it, okay. But then at least you're on the road, you're on the roll to do it. Because well, if you are super, super sure, I don't want driver license C, I want something small, then don't even consider license C, okay? Just go for B, stick with B, be happy with B. But if you're like me, you felt like it was kind of holding you back and you felt like a bit like restricted on your weight, you felt restricted on your size, you felt like you were restricting yourself, then I would definitely recommend to get your driver license C. And of course, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you're from Belgium, I can exactly tell you which agency I went to, where I did like my theory and all of that. I can give you so much information. If you are from outside Belgium, I can give you the information, but it might be maybe less interesting for you, like on which agency I went to or how much I paid, because it's going to be different in your country. But super, super happy to answer any of your questions. So just drop a comment, send me a message. So yeah, that was basically my question or my answer on should you get a license C or stick with your license B. I hope it helped you. I would have loved to have such a video when I was doubting about all of that. And I'll speak to you very soon. And remember, subscribe to my channel. All right. See ya. Bye.